Hi everyone, trust you all are doing well. So in the previous episode, we dealt with static site generation and we fetched the data using getStaticProps right here. And when we got the data and we display the data right here. Now what we want to do is we want to display that same data using server-side rendering. So how do we do that? There's not much that we have to change in here. Everything else stays the same. All right. And all we have to do is we change this part to get server. All right, so we just say get server side props. All right, so as you can see right now, we got the articles and the data right here. Now let's say I just want to mention this as well to anyone that's new right here. So if you got the data right here, as you can see, I'm referencing the article. I'm setting this articles to their data. But if I mention this as articles like this, all right, I don't have to reference it like this. I can just leave it as articles right there. And as you can see, it basically remains right there. So now we're getting the data instead of basically getting it statically, compiling it once. So in static site generation, what happens is it compile all the HTML with the data once, and it reuse that same data with every request. With server-side rendering, it gives us new HTML with every request. All right, so that's the difference between the two. All right, so but as you can see, all we have to do is change this part right here. But now I may want to mention this. So you don't have to choose between the one or the other. NEXT.js is basically a hybrid framework. It means that in some parts of your application, you might want to use static site generation or server-side rendering. Then you can choose, like let's say our articles page, this data change maybe once a month or once every couple of days. Then static generation will make sense, but I will show you a solution in the next episode for something like that. The other one is services. Now let's say this page right here have financial indicators that change continuously. Every couple of seconds it changes, or maybe every couple of milliseconds this change. Then we can use server-side rendering for that because that data is continually new. Then it means in services we can use server-side basically get the data using getting server-side props. In our articles right here, we can basically get the data using getting statics props like this. All right, that's totally up to you, but you always have to choose what's relevant for your application. But now there's another problem. So if you basically, let's say in our services, we're getting the data using getting server-side props right here. Now, just remember, the server have to work a little bit more. So that means if you're hosting your server with a company that obviously going to charge you for how much you use the service, obviously that will make sense because it puts more load on their servers. It will mean for this part right here, you will incur a higher cost. But with static generation, you're not going to have that much of a problem because most of your work is cached, and that cache is basically served to the client. All right, so what I want to do in the next episode, I just want to talk about a hybrid between the get server-side props and the getting static props. I just want to give you guys a hybrid for that in the next episode. So see you guys there, and adios.